And when you're dropped in, by the way, you're not thinking about all the stuff of the day. When you know you're there, there's a centeredness, there's a frequency. And if you've watched any of the interactions I've had with people, the main thing I'm looking for is, are they centered? Are they in their relationship, with God? Are they whole? And if they're not, then we're going to continue doing steps. You'll see me say, hey, cancel your goal for this, or cancel your goal for this, or do this, or say this. And it's all to help someone get into their centered spot so that they can then go to the inquiry step and trust whatever's coming up. So let's practice. Take a nice breath, drop in, and I'll say, is there anything I need to be aware of right now? I remember the first time that I kind of thought I heard that still quiet voice, that we hear about. And I would say that more than not, I fought against it. After all, I was trained to use my brain since I was a little kid, going to school, getting the right answer, being accepted, all the things that go with intelligence. And that was highly valued in the life that I grew up in. And so when that still small voice that I know of as that divine whisper would come through, my brain almost reactively would come up with reasons not to believe it. The issue with not believing it is there's a significant, and this is the whole point of this, there's a significant betrayal that happens internally. And so if we here go left when we know in our brain, well, the fastest way is to go right, and we go left anyway, or no, we ignore it and we go right, that wouldn't be good. But if we go left anyway, even though the brain is fighting against us, we're honoring the true nature of us. We're honoring that union part that's fully connected. And the more we can honor ourselves, the more we're going to strengthen the opportunity to hear. And those little whispers start to expand. They start to grow, right? And instead of just hearing go left or whatever it might be, you might start to hear full paragraphs. You might receive a complete book like The Lowly Prophet and the others that have come. There's a process of allowing yourself to honor that which is trying to pull you in the direction of union, wholeness, love of God embodied in you. So the first step to doing that is creating a practice where you do get quiet so you can start receiving the insight that is available. So when we cash in our chips, if you will, and say, hey, I'm all in. I'm going to go home with the relative relationship that's whole. Then we start to allow for the dissolution of anything that keeps us apart from that. And the first thing that I had to learn to do is to retrain the brain. And I'm going to teach you just one of the techniques that I use if my brain is louder than that still small voice, or if I'm overpowering. And so this is something that you can absolutely 100% count on as a vehicle to move you in the direction of dismantling anything in the way of your wholeness. And it starts with a practice. So for me, I'll begin with closing my eyes. So if you ever see me out and about and I'm sitting there with my eyes closed, I'm allowing myself to be centered by cutting off the eyes and allowing for me to go inside. right? I can still hear everything. Someone could be making noise in the room. It's fine. But if I close my eyes and I drop in, when I say drop in, I mean drop from the head down into the heart. And then the opportunity for you to do that, you can look up and find all kinds of ways to do that. But if you just practice, say, hey, I'm willing to drop in, I take a breath, and I allow for me to be centered and present. And the inquiry could be anything. Now, I like teaching a simple question. For example, hey, is there anything I need to be aware of? It's really simple. It could be repeated consistently. And so when you close your eyes and you drop in, and when you're dropped in, by the way, you're not thinking about all the stuff of the day. You know, when you know you're there, there's a centeredness, there's a frequency. And if you've watched any of the interactions I've had with people, the main thing I'm looking for is, are they centered? Are they in their relationship, with God? Are they whole? And if they're not, then we're going to continue doing steps. You'll see me say, hey, cancel your goal for this, or cancel your goal for this, or do this, or say this. And it's all to help someone get into their centered spot so that they can then go to the inquiry step and trust whatever's coming up. So let's practice. Take a nice breath, drop in, and I'll say, is there anything I need to be aware of right now? Now, the answer comes quickly or not. If you sense that you missed it or, well, not getting anything, what I'm going to invite you to do is notice any sensations you're having in your body. You might not get the words like I get, but you might feel a tingling in your toes. You might feel a surge of energy move up your back. It will come how it comes for you. You might see something in your mind's eye. You might have a thought of somebody. So we all have our unique spiritual gifts, and the faculties of our senses, they have to be activated because we're so used to using our eyes and our ears and our nose and our touch and all the taste and all the normal senses, right? But there's so many more senses that can be tuned into. And so when you're quiet and you allow for that tuning, you don't have to do a 15-minute meditation in order to get an insight, but you may need to do a 30-minute meditation the first time because you haven't been paying attention, or you ignored, or you were distrustful of the other senses. So you do want to give yourself time. You're better off allowing yourself to be patient. And it's very important to let go of any expectations. So the first time, if you're doing this, you might say, well, I let go of any idea that I'm supposed to experience anything. And you breathe and relax. Hey, is there anything I need to be aware of? And you might think, oh yeah, I've got that thing I'm going to do next week. And that's fine. No judgment about what comes. Just receive, just tune in. And that'll fine tune. So in summary, the first and I think really easy practice to start with is close your eyes, breathe, drop into your heart, release any expectations, allow yourself to be in the present moment and go into inquiry. And you can start with that question that I started with. Hey, is there anything I need to be aware of? And then build on that. I'll close with this, because some people have asked, well, how do I know if I'm listening to my brain or if I'm listening to God? And we're going to do a whole episode on that. So follow this channel, subscribe, and there's some links in the description that you can get the free access to start reading the book. You can get access to the weekly radio show that is hosted every Friday at 2 p.m. Central. So I encourage you to check this stuff out, tune in, and I'll see you next time.